remember one day, a group of engineers came from Microsoft. And they were demoing us a lot of different types of tools, some of which were design tools. And I still remember this, this is actually 20 years ago, that this one of the engineers who was there from Microsoft said to me that your job will be gone in 10 years. And he was talking about me as a designer and the discipline of design. And I didn't quite see yet what he was talking about at that point, but not in quite 10 years, but in 5-7 years after that, a lot of different things started to be available that would make things like web design somewhat irrelevant in terms of profession. Because, when I first started working in the late 90s, you would get paid $1,000 to create a website. But now, you can sign up for services like Squarespace, and for $5, $10, anybody can make a website that's pretty good. Another example is, this is a piece of software that somebody wrote. And this is, at this stage, is just an experimentation. But the point here is that now that the machine can create almost infinite variations of something that you're trying to create, in this case, typography, and instantly it can create hundreds of different types of fonts in front of your eyes. Whereas if, as a typographer, an individual had to create fonts from scratch, it would take days and weeks and months potentially. Taking us outside of the design world, and if you go into the culinary, back into the culinary world a bit, this is IBM's Chef Watson, and this was an experiment that they did about 5 or 6 years ago. And the experiment was using IBM Watson, that it would generate recipes automatically based on certain algorithm. So again, recipes were something that human beings created, but it's something that can be repeated, and if it's something that can be repeated, a machine can repeat itself much more quickly. Then not necessarily better, but they can do it much more quickly and much more efficiently. So let me show you an example of a machine, a very tangible, kind of a silly example, but a very tangible example of a machine being able to beat a human being. So this, I'm going to play a video, and it's a game of breakout. Breakout is a game where you have a little ball that bounces around, yeah? And I'm going to play this video for about 30 seconds or so, and you'll see what's going on.
This is after an hour of training, it's about 200 games. So now you can see it's quantitatively better. It's getting the ball back around 30-40% of the time. It's still not perfect, but it's getting measurably better. Now after 2 hours or 300 games, it's better than any human can play this game. So it never misses the ball, even when the ball comes back at very fast vertical angles. So then we thought, okay, that's pretty good, but let's just leave it training for another 2 hours, see what happens. And then this amazing thing happened. It sort of worked out the optimal stretch, dig a tunnel to the back. And then send the ball round the back.
So that was the machine in about 240 minutes, about 6 hours or so. It learned how, and this is a very simple game, so you might think that, it's easy for a machine to learn. But the point here is that if it's a repeated task, and you let a machine learn how to do it, sooner rather than later, it will be better than human being in something like this. I'll show you another spooky example, and you might have seen this video, and it's kind of a funny thing to watch because it's quite human in a very strange way. I think that engineer just wanted to do that and he created that robot. I'm not quite sure what that robot is supposed to do. But again, technology is becoming quite advanced that in some cases it's becoming quite human-like. And speaking of robots or machines being human-like, this is a list of jobs that somebody created, and this person attached a number to each one of these jobs. And the prediction that this person made is that the percentage of these, the numbers that you see, the higher the percentage, more likely that job will be relevant in the near future. So what that means is, say being an accountant, and apologize if there's an accountant in this room, the 97.6% of accounting jobs can be replaced by machines. 96.3% of cooks can be replaced by machines, and so forth. Even doctors, almost 80% of doctors can be replaced by machines. And there's a big debate, how real is this and how soon is this going to happen? It may be in the next 5 years or so, or it may be even in the next 30 years. The time span is quite varied, and there's a big debate how quickly this kind of thing might happen. But it is possible that some of our jobs and things like design can also be on this list in the near future. But my perspective on technology taking over the world is actually quite optimistic. And if you think about the things that we do as human beings and things that the steps that are needed for something to be completed, and if that was from 0 to 10, I do think that the machines are capable of completing most of the things between 1 and 9. But the things that us human beings are inherently good and hopefully better at than machines are things that are either on the extreme side of things. So either from 0 to 1 or 9 to 10. So moving forward, as long as we can focus our energy on sharpening our sensibility for things that go from 0 to 1, so creating something from nothing, or perfecting something from 9 to 10, I do think that our jobs are safe. So even things like accounting, which on that list was one of the jobs that might be eliminated in the near future, doing something from nothing and then making sure that it's perfect or making sure that it's catered specifically to an individual, that's something that I think is very difficult for a machine to do.